The Last Kiwi is a set of limited edition prints and stories. It has its genesis in this journal here, which I have handmade by an artisan bookbinder in leather and parchment, and it's purportedly the journal which is handwritten by this Kiwi, and this is the Kiwi here. Oh, I've got a picture of him here. His name is Isaiah Watapu, and it's in there. It's a handsome devil he is. So I painted him, and he is a Kiwi. So it purports to be about a world where Kiwi lived, and 1860s. It's New Zealand, but I call it Birdlandium. I'll just step past you here and get a map out. This might show it better. So it's this imaginary world here, spinning around again. This is the map I drew. This imaginary world of New Zealand where only Kiwi and the birds live. So I've renamed everything, you know, these crazy names. And so in 1860 these birds live in Birdlandium, the Isle of Bird in the southern seas. And they make whiskey and they dance and they farm moa. And they're peace-loving birds. Until they are attacked by the gentleman behind you here, the Stoats from Weaselpotamia, industrialised nation to the north. And the Stoats send their armies down. Here's some paintings I've done of the various characters, stoats and weasels and rats, attack New Zealand. I call it Birdlandium. They desire the green pastures, and they attack the Kiwi. That's the emperor of the Stoats. He sends them down, the great armada. And now the Kiwi, up here, the last Kiwi, they must take up arms against the invaders. But they're hopelessly outnumbered, the birds. And so here's another painting here of, say, one of the Kiwi soldiers off to war, and the moorpork here, another native bird fighting, and they try to defend themselves, but they're outnumbered and they cannot defend. Here's some more characters in the story. It's a bird politician that I painted, and here's another character here, and this Kia rides moa. They ride infantry to war, and it comes down to one last battle where the Kiwi at Lion Rock at Piha are forced to the top. There's only a small band of them left, and the Stoat and Weasel army are gathered on the black sands, and they know that in the morning they will go to battle and they'll all be wiped out. They'll be the last Kiwi, hence the name of the book. And on that night, the night before the battle, General Isaiah Watapu, the general of the army, sits atop Lion Rock, and he writes his last journal in this book. And he writes his history, his whakapapa, tales of his family, his life, everything. It's his little journal, it's his story, his memoir. And he writes it all night long. It starts atop Lion Rock, and he writes it in his own hand, knowing that he will die the next morning in battle. And he signs it at the end for all the soldiers on the rock. Yeah. And then he gives it to a rider, and the rider gallops it away and gives it to his wife. So this is the journal that I made up. The whole story of the last Kiwi and the story of Birdlandium is here, because he dies the next day in battle.